Coming up on today's episode of the Airborne Unlimited, AOPA takes an aviation product liability question to the U.S. Supreme Court. One Aviation subsidiary seeks loan from Minnesota. FAI seats a new president. Hello, I'm Christopher C. Odom. It's October 19th, 2016, and this is Airborne Unlimited. The Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to hear a case involving aviation products liability, which is an issue that could have a significant impact on the cost of flying. At the heart of the case is the question of whether juries can impose aircraft design standards at the state level in aviation products liability cases, in conflict with the FAA's federal regulatory and certification standards. AOPA General Counsel Ken Mead explained, if a product is defective, aggrieved parties should receive compensation for injuries resulting from the defect, but standards set by the FAA, not standards set by juries or the states themselves, should be used to determine whether the manufacturer is liable in aviation products liability cases. The issue revolves around a lawsuit involving an engine component that was found to be in compliance with FAA standards and therefore not at fault in a fatal accident. However, that decision was reversed because of another court found that the FAA's regulatory role did not preempt state law standards of care in aviation product liability actions. That ruling allows juries to hold a manufacturer to state design standards, even if the manufacturer satisfied all FAA regulations and certification standards. AOPA's position is that to allow multiple standards for aviation products creates complications regarding safety and product design criteria. One Aviation is seeking a loan from the Minnesota Range Resources and Rehabilitation Board for their subsidiary, ACC Manufacturing, for the development of a new aircraft parts manufacturing facility in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. It's proposed that the grants that will generate $44.4 million in projects. The Superior Telegram newspaper reports that the parts manufactured by ACC would initially be used in the Eclipse jet, but the long-term goal is for the company to manufacture the Kestrel turboprop aircraft in Grand Rapids as well. One Aviation CEO Alan Kleppmeyer said that the paper that makes more sense to manufacture composite parts in-house rather than subcontracting the work. He said Minnesota is the right place for workforce compatibility and workforce productivity. Kleppmeyer added, "We know Minnesota, this is where we live." After the break, Fritz Brink heads up Aviation Sport Organization.
The Bristol Light Sport Aircraft is what you are looking for. The Bristol is wider than a Cirrus, faster than a Skyhawk, offers more storage than a Husky, and comes standard with Garmin avionics. So what are you waiting for? Visit Bristol.com to find out how you can get into a Bristol today.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of the Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. Fritz Brink from the Netherlands has been elected as the new president of FAI, the World Air Sports Federation, at the 110th FAI General Conference in Bali, Indonesia. Brink, who has held a private pilot license since 1986, has served in several high-level positions in various sports organizations, including president of the Royal Netherlands Aeronautical Association, vice president of the Netherlands Olympic Committee, and he has served as an FAI executive board member. Brink said following his election, "I would like to thank all those who have put their trust in me to head the FAI. I feel honored by the confidence they showed by choosing me. I will do my best to fulfill my duties." Brinks is the 34th FAI president since the election of Prince Roland Bonaparte in 1905. With some 2,000 Aero-TV programs webcast to cyberspace, sometimes it can be fun to look back and enjoy some of the places we've seen, the flyers we've met, and the planes we've flown. Here's a look at one of our favorite Aero-TV classic episodes.
The reason that we've added a canopy, it's an option. It comes without the canopy, but it can be ordered. The real reason, though, for the canopy is flight schools. They want to be able to operate year-round, especially in northern climates.
If closing the canopy on an open cockpit biplane sounds like an oxymoron, that's because you haven't seen the canopy modification that Waco has made available for their classic Great Lakes biplane. This video makes it clear. Search a canopy for the Great Lakes on Aero-TV's news channel. After these messages, Boeing opens major facility in St. Louis.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Explore no limits flying in the FAA certified Sea Ray Amphibious LSA, one of the top 3 best-selling LSAs in the U.S. Progressive Aerodyne Sea Ray comes equipped with a Rotax engine and exhibits extraordinary handling on land, water, and in the air. Check it out at www.searay.com.
Redbird Flight Simulations is dedicated to revolutionizing flight training by designing, manufacturing, and delivering affordable and innovative flight training technologies. Each Redbird device is designed to enhance the training experience for pilots of all levels, from student to ATP. Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
Based on the popular Sling 2 LSA, the Sling 4 was designed to be the most practical and desirable lightweight 4-place experimental aircraft on the market. Find out more about this 115 horsepower turbocharged airplane at airplanefactory.com.
With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing a few of those other great stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. Boeing has opened a new composite center in its St. Louis campus that will house the company's largest commercial aviation facility ever placed at the site. Production of the 777X wing edge and empennage parts will begin at the new center in early 2017. Airbus recently celebrated the delivery of its 10,000th aircraft, which was an A350-900 for Singapore Airlines. Featuring a special 10,000th Airbus logo, the aircraft will be used to launch the airline's new non-stop services between Singapore and San Francisco. A passenger was removed from an Alaska Airlines flight on October 9th after making a remark to a flight attendant during the safety demonstration. It's reported the passenger made an inappropriate sexual remark while the flight attendant was demonstrating use of the life vest. Philippine Airlines has signed a letter of intent to acquire up to 12 Bombardier Q400 aircraft. The airline said that for close to a decade, the Bombardier Q series family of aircraft have been instrumental in evolving their domestic network of operations. Cockpit upgrades are to be performed on a fleet of Sikorsky S-61A4 Nuri helicopters for an Asian operator, featuring Universal's EFI 890H, advanced flight displays, and multi-missions management system. Healy 1 is set to perform the design and installation for the initial aircraft. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now, let's get back to the rest of the news. 2 Chinese astronauts began a month-long stay in the space aboard the Tiangong Space Station with their launch from the Gobi Desert Monday morning of this week. Fox News reports that Shenzhou 11 spacecraft was boosted into orbit by a Long March 2F rocket. It is China's 6-man mission and the longest planned by the Chinese Space Agency. The country is planning a second space station, Tiangong 2, for which it hopes to attract international partners. Thus far, China has been excluded from the International Space Station program because of its space program's perceived military nature. Well, that's our program for today. Remember that Airborne Unlimited stream daily, Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and do check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Get Comprehensive's real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Keep flying. We'll see you tomorrow.